Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today I'm working on this snowblower, and it's pretty much the same for most snowblowers out there. And when I press on the handle here for the drive wheels, everything's good. When I press on the auger, I was going through the snow there, and yeah, the auger's not turning. So the first thing I thought, well, maybe it's the belt. Because I just put a belt on about maybe an hour and a half worth of run time. So there could be a couple of things going on here. I could have broke shear pins in my auger, but it kind of feels kind of spongy. So I'm suspecting that the belt broke again, and well, we're going to tear into it and see what we got. But I just want to show you the machine first, and I'll show you what I'm going to use to get it all thawed out.
Okay, we'll start off in the front here, and I'm pulling on these blades here, and I'm thinking that the shear pin's not broke, but there is another one in the back there, and that's on your impeller side, and that is moving, but it's also moving the blades. So I'm thinking, okay, so since these are still attached, I didn't break anything in here. But as you could say, she's pretty well snowed in there pretty good. And what I have to do is I have to take this cover off here to look inside. But look at all the snow on this rig. And I'll just take you around the machine here. And so what I have to do is I have to take all this part off here too. Now I have done this multiple times. So the first time that you do this, it may be a little bit of a challenge. But all the machines are pretty well standard, and you have to take these 3 bolts out, and you have to take this all off, and like I said, you have to take this all off. You'll see on your particular machine they're all a little bit different, but generally you have to break the machine from the chute from the back end of the machine, and all your belts are inside there, and that's the only way that you can change them. So as you can see, yeah, it's cold in here, like it's real cold, and I've got 8 inches of snow to do outside. So I'm going to start up the diesel fired heater. I'm going to get everything all melted off nice, and I'll bring you back when we're going to take this cover off here, and we're going to see what's going wrong in there. So I'll just take you over to my wall here, and I always carry all the spare parts here. All spare belts, you know, everything that has to do with the drive line, and you know, everything else that has to do with operating the machine. Well, these are all the spare parts, so I got spare belts, and let's get to it right after I thaw this machine out. Okay, we're back. There's the 2 fasteners I taken out, and I took one right out from there, and then we'll come around the other side of the machine, and you could see where the other one was in that hole right there. So what we have to do now is take this cover off and see what's going on there. So you can slip the cover off without taking everything else off here, right? And we'll just take the cover off. And okay, so there's the belt there. And the first thing I notice is the belt's upside down. Okay, now I didn't put the belt in upside down, guys. Is it broken? No, it's not broken. Let's take a little deeper look in there. Well, there is a guide that holds the belt on, and I wonder if that's broke. But the belt is not broke. And okay, so we're on to plan B here. And plan B involves taking them 3 bolts out on both sides and splitting the machine in half, and then I'll bring you back when the machine is split in half, and you'll see exactly how this thing works. Okay, so this is the setup. When you're splitting this machine, you have to, well, I'm using my hoist, right? You'd be on the ground any other time, right? But you just need to support the back end up here, and you have to support underneath the front chute just so it doesn't move on you. And if we take a look there, all I did was, you seen this this little pulley system is on here for the cable, So you have to take that off because it gives you more room so it's not so tight when you try and split it. And this just pretty much just falls apart on you. So it's good if you actually have two people, but you just put a couple of boards underneath and you'll be fine. But that's it right there. And the only thing I did was straighten out the belt and put it on the right way. So let's go around the machine here and I'll give you an idea how this operates. So there's the, give you a top shot here so you can see. So there's the belt there. And of course, the belt has to go on here. And it goes behind this part here. And this is what causes the tension. Now the part that I was telling you that may have been broken, I'll get my light down here and I'll show you this part. It's hard to do here. But you see that, this little part right here? Okay, so that holds the belt on there. And the only way that that can move is, I'll try to get the light here for you, right? Is, see if I can get it shot there. Okay. Looks like we're going to have to go like this. Okay, so the only way that little piece down there moves is when you apply tension to this. Now, if you look on the back side here, you can see there's a spring attached to this. And this actually moves. If I can move this without the whole machine moving on me. But anyways, as you press the tension, it will move this out of the way as it's applying tension. And this will move up. So you can see the spring is attached there. And I'm just trying to do this. Yeah, it's hard to move that with the machine so it doesn't like fall apart, right? And fall right off the whole thing. So I'm going to put the belt back on here. Now it's the first time that's actually ever slipped out of there before. And the reason why that could happen is if you don't have enough tension on your adjustment for your cable, so that when you're applying tension, it'll slip off. But I've never had that happen before, so I'm going to put it back on and we're going to see and just double check the tension. So let me just put this all back on here and I'll show you what it looks like before I actually button it all up. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to go on right there. And if you take a look down here, you could see where that goes on the outside of the belt so it doesn't fall off on you and it keeps it adjusted in there all the time. So all I have to do now is just reattach it, put it together, put the fasteners back in, and that's it. And then we just got to make an adjustment and make sure that the belt is adjusted properly so that when you take the when you apply the tension, when it comes back, and that's what I think what happens sometimes when it comes back, it didn't come back like it should. It might have been frozen there a bit, and that's how the belt peeled off. So let's just take a look at that after I got this all put back together. Okay, we're back and I got everything all put back together. I got this little pulley put back in here. And I just want to show you something. You know, the reason why this fell off was my own fault. I actually have this too tight. Now, the adjustment on this is from this pulley here. So when I pull on the handle to engage the chute, this particular wire goes back to the handle and applies tension. But I just want to show you something here. There's the tension all the way on and there's the tension off. And there's not enough tension being released. So if we look down there, I'm going to try and zoom you in here good so you can understand how that belt tensioner clasp works. Now you see down there, it's kind of hard, but as I press on the tension, that moves away from the pulley. Because what you don't want is applying tension on your pulley with your belt at the same time as trying to move a rotating piece of machinery, right? So that wasn't the fault. The fault was exactly that the amount of tension that's being applied on that pulley is too constant. See how it doesn't release that much? So I got to actually reduce the amount of tension, and I'm going to show you where that is. Okay, so we're taking a look at the handle here, and you can see this is the tension rod here. So as I pull down on this, see there's too much tension on there. That's exactly what it is. But I do know that a lot of times when you put a new belt on, it stretches, but this one, it's a pretty good belt. And so what I have to do is I have to actually undo the nut and bring it down. So I'll do that, I'll put everything back together, and then I'll show you the machine in operation.
Well, I'm back in action and it's working like a charm. Yeah, the whole problem was when I put the new belt on, it was too tight. And I think what was happening was it just peeled itself right off because it didn't have time to actually use the space between the actual auger housing pulley and the idler pulley. So yeah, it was my fault, but at least now you can see what is required if you want to actually put a new belt on. It's not hard at all. From the time that I started to the time that I put it all back together was about a half an hour. And you know, you can do it on the ground, you don't have to have a hoist and that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's something that you can do yourself and save yourself a huge amount of aggravation trying to get a snowblower brought over to a shop to fix it and pay to have it fixed as well. So thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe. Come back again and let's have some more fun. Cheers.